Hey, it's Drew Neiser with another Tuesday tip. We've just been talking about brand and revenue and trying to connect those dots. So it's not an easy conversation. It's a challenge. It's not a conversation that a CFO or CRO may want to have, but it's one that we're having because we know it's important. So Bryan Law of ZoomInfo, what is your tip for connecting brand to revenue?
And it's actually a tip of trying to not connect them together, but one, create sort of a baseline for how you're perceived in the market. And secondly, really try and orient your measurement around how you're going to change that perception, knowing that driving key alignment between your brand and the category and the pain points of your customers is going to have the longest and most significant impact on share of market over time.
Yes. And I think that's the important part of this is that while you're disconnecting it in the short term, because you don't want to say this spend is going to equal this dollar amount, long term, you do want to have that connection. Okay, Jeff Otto, CMO Riskified. Jeff, what's your tip?
Hey, Drew. So yeah, building up Bryan's statements, I think, I like to take a look at what are the competitors that keep me up at night or keep my board and executive team up at night, and do as much benchmarking as we can across the spectrum of share of voice, of doing SEO benchmarking, looking at seeing what are they doing that we're not doing, and kind of build the story around the investment in brand based on where they're at.
Right. Yes. I mean, nothing like a little competitive envy to get folks to maybe open up the pocket a little bit, or at least accept the notion of brand spend. Okay, Lorie Coulombe, Q4. Lorie, what's your tip?
My tip is when thinking about launching a brand to make sure to not only look at the competitors, but also to think about the customer journey and how you think your brand will impact your customers throughout the funnel and pre-customer. And then once they're customers, how to keep them excited about the company through brand and hold on to them.
Yes, I love it. I mean, we're talking about customer journeys that can be very long. If you can map those out, folks can see them, there's a chance that they may recognize, oh, brand here matters. Okay, Marca Armstrong of Passport. Marca, what's your tip?
Your customers are your best brand advocates. I think Lorie just articulated that. So use them as part of your journey, use them as part of your content, and then understand what makes them so great and why they love you, and articulate that through all of your brand content and all of the benchmarks that we've already talked about.
So we're connecting what the customer feels about it to all the other activities that you're doing in terms of building that. Got it. Okay. Heidi Bullock, Tealium, what's your tip?
Yeah, a lot of great points. I think one of my tips is, outside of identifying key metrics and creating a baseline, make sure that you're educating your executives and board on, the importance of tying brand to revenue. And it's about creating preference, right? And you will see that in your numbers. And I think if you do a good job with a baseline and showcasing certain numbers and the improvement over time through regular surveys and regular tracking, that'll make a big impact. But you have to be the educator. Don't assume that people know it.
Yeah. And I think that's really important because CEOs, less than 20% of them actually ever worked in marketing. We can't assume that they know how these pieces fit together. So education makes sense. Grant Johnson, Billtrust, what is your tip? And bring us home.
My esteemed colleagues have hit on all the key metrics. I like to have a proprietary method where I track up to 10 or 12 different aspects of awareness, consideration, preference, loyalty. And you see, your brand strength is you're gaining momentum, losing momentum, and that'll help support, continue to invest in ways that'll shape demand over time.
I love it. And this is the thing. These are trending things. If you're getting better, if your awareness is going up, it's going to show up in pipe. It just may not show up tomorrow. All right. Well, if you're a B2B CMO who can share, care, and dare with the best of them, check out CMOHuddles.com. I'm Drew Neiser. That's your Tuesday tip. Peace out.